Hi, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. And if you have, thank you. And I want to thank everyone for being here, subscribers, non-subscribers, everyone. And if you would, please take a minute to also push that like button so it gets the algorithms out there so everyone can see this tutorial and all the others that are on the channel. So today I want to show you this really great stitch. It's a really nice summer spring stitch. It's a nice stitch to make a nice light afghan, a shawl. You could make a carry bag with this if you wanted to make for a market bag. You could make a baby blanket with this. It's just a really nice stitch and it's open. And it's really pretty. And again, this is called Puff&Ladders. And there's little puff stitches in here. And the single crochets and the chains that are in here give it that ladder look. The chains give it that ladder look. So it's really pretty. And you have single crochets, double crochets, and a puff stitch. And I'm going to show you again just how easy this is to make. Beginners to advanced. I wanted to do it in two colors because I wanted you to see it in two colors. You can change colors with this. You can use all one color. That's totally up to you. But again, it's a great stitch for beginners to advanced. I will be using an H hook, and I will be also using a acrylic yarn. I want to mention you can use cotton yarn, you can use acrylic, whatever you want. Just use the hook that goes with the yarn, the suggested yarn hook. What you have to do with this pattern is you have to chain a multiple of 6. So it would be 6 plus 6 plus 6 until you get to the desired width you want. And then once you get your width, then you're going to add 3 chains. 6 plus 6 plus 6, then 3 chains. So I'm going to show you just how easy this stitch is to make. And I want to give you a close-up look at it. So let's start making our Puff-Ladders stitch. So what we're going to do is, as we always do, and this is, like I said, for beginners to advanced, or someone that's never crocheted before. We're going to do our slip knot. I do these tutorials in right-handed and left-handed as well. I want to mention that. So we did our slip knot, and I'm going to chain 27 because I'm doing multiples of 6 plus 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. This is my working chain right here. These are my chains. They look like V's. And at the very end is a slip knot. So what we're going to do now, after we do that, and this is going to be a 2-row repeat. Once we get the rows done that we need to do, it's going to be a 2-row repeat. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook. So we're going to go 1, here's the hook, 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th chain we're going to do a double crochet and then another double crochet. Now I want to say that I go slow for anybody that's new. I go slow so you can follow along, you can write it down, you can get some yarn, a hook, and go with me, whatever you want to do, but I go slow, I'm visual. So once you do the 2 double crochets, and that chain 3 at this chain, I should say, at the end here is going to count as a double crochet as well. Once you do your 2 double crochets, you're going to skip this next chain, and in the one after that, you're going to do a single crochet. So I want to show you. You did 2 double crochets, you're going to skip 1 chain, and then in the next one you're going to do a single crochet. You're going to chain 1, 2, and then once you do chain 2, you're going to skip 1 chain right here, and then in the next one you're going to do a double crochet, in the next chain you're going to do a double crochet, and in the next chain you're going to do a double crochet. So that's what you got there. Now what you're going to do, you've got 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 1, you're going to chain 2, and you're going to skip this next stitch, and in the next one you're going to do a single crochet. After you do your single crochet, you're going to chain 1, 2. You're going to skip 1 chain, and in the next one you're going to do a double crochet, in the next chain you're going to do a double crochet, and in the next chain you're going to do a double crochet. So you're doing 3 double crochets in those 3 chains. So once you do that, you're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to skip a chain, and in that next chain you're going to do a single crochet. You're going to chain 1, 2, and then you're going to skip a chain, and then in the next 3 chains you're going to do a double crochet in each chain. So we're repeating it, this process, right across. So then you're going to skip 1 right here, 1 chain. But before you do that, you've got to chain 2, 1, 2. I can go in a little bit. And then once you chain 2, like I said, you've got to skip that chain, and in the next one you do a single crochet. Now at the end you're going to have 1, 2, 3 chains left. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to make right in here the next one. You're going to skip. You're going to skip this chain, and in the next one you're going to make a double crochet. In the very last chain right here, you're going to make 2 double crochets. 2 double crochets. And this will look, it will mimic the other end. So I'm going to put it down, and that's what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is now we're going to work on the next row after we do that. After we do that, we're going to chain 1, 2. And that, we're going to chain 2, and that's going to be a double crochet. We're going to turn our work. In this very first stitch is our double crochet, the chain 2 that we made. So we're not going to put anything there. In this second stitch, we're going to make a puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go right in this stitch right here above this double crochet. Pull it apart so you can see. And we're going to go in there, and we're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go in there a second time. We're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go in there one more time, 3 times. We're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through all of those right there. And there's our puff stitch. Now what we're going to do is in this next double crochet from below, we're going to make a double crochet above it. So now we have our chain 3, which is a double crochet, our chain 2, I'm sorry, our puff stitch in the middle, and a double crochet on the other side of it. So now once we do that, we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. You could actually say that's our ladder. Now what we're going to do is our ladder is going to jump this where our chain 2 is and our single crochet. We're going to jump it, and we're going to go in this first double crochet from below, and we're going to make a double crochet. Then in this next stitch, in the middle of the 2 double crochets, we're going to make our next puff stitch. We're going to yarn over and go in to that stitch from below. We're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go in a second time. We're going to pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go in a third time. We're going to pull up a loop. And then we're going to yarn over because we're going to go through these. And I'm going to count. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on your hook. Then you're going to have the yarn over one where you're going to pull it through, and we're going to pull that right through all of those. And that's our puff stitch. Now we're going to go into the next double crochet from below, and we're going to make a double crochet above it. And this is called the Puffs and Ladder Stitch. Now we're going to chain 1, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to chain 3. We're going to go right over this. We're going to go over these chain 2s on each side. We're going to go over this single crochet, and we're going to go right into this first double crochet, and we're going to continue to do what we did here. We're going to make a double crochet right above that double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to make a puff stitch. We're going to yarn over, go into that, pull up a loop, yarn over, go in the second time, pull up a loop, yarn over, go in a third time, pull up a loop, yarn over, and we're going to go through all of those at once. Now we're going to go into this next double crochet, and we're going to make a double crochet right above it. So we're going to go right in there, and we're going to make our double crochet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. We're going to skip these two chains, single crochet. We're going to go right into this double crochet, and we're going to make a double crochet right above it. In the next one, we're going to do our puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over, go in. We're going to pull up that loop. We're going to yarn over, go in again, pull up that loop. You're going to yarn over, go in, pull up that loop. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through all of those. So now we're going to do our double crochet right in this spot here above that double crochet. We're going to make another one. So what we're doing is we're making a double crochet, we're making our puff stitch, and we're making a double crochet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. This is our ladder. Our ladder is going to go across this, and now we're going to go, and I want to show you, we're going to go into this first stitch, this first double crochet right here, and we're going to make a double crochet. We're going to go into the next double crochet, and we're going to make a puff stitch. And it'll be a little bit weird in the beginning to do this last one because it's at the end. And now at the very end where this chain is, we're going to go at the top of that, the tippity top of that, and we're going to make our last double crochet. So now that's what we're going to look like. So what we did is we made this and we made this row. So now I'm going to show you that the next row we'll start our 2-row repeat because we wanted to do this base row so that we could get to this. And I'm going to pull in a little bit so that you can see. So we wanted to do this and this. So we did our base row after our single crochets, and then we did this row of double crochet puff with 3 chains in the middle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start our 2-row repeat, because this is where it really starts. So we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And remember that that's always going to be a double crochet and it counts as a stitch. We're going to turn this around. That's our first double crochet right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a double crochet above the puff stitch. That's what we're going to do. Then what we're going to do, and I just want to loosen this yarn so it's easy to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another double crochet above this double crochet. So what we're doing is actually mimicking that first row, but that was like our starter row. So we want to count this as row 1, row 2. So row 1 is going to be, and this is going to be till you finish your project. Row 1 will be, you'll see that you're going to have 3 double crochets together. Row 2, you'll know that you're on that because you're going to have a double crochet, a puff stitch, and a double crochet. So if you remember that sequence, you'll know what row that you're actually working. So now once you do those 3 double crochets, remember counting that chain 2 as a double crochet, you're going to go right in the middle here of your chain 3 from below, and you're going to put a single crochet in the chain 3 space. Okay, so but before you do that, you're going to make your double crochet, your double crochet, your double crochet. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to chain 2. okay, just like we did here. And then you're going to make, in this chain 3 space, you're going to make your single crochet. After you make your single crochet, you're going to chain 1, chain 2. Then when you go into this first double crochet from below from this next set, you're going to make a double crochet. In this next stitch, which is your puff stitch, you're going to make a double crochet. And I'm going to pull out a little bit so you can see better. And then in this next stitch, which is your last double crochet from this set, you're going to make another double crochet. So what you did is you made above your double crochet, your puff stitch, and your double crochet, you made 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and we're going to chain 2. We're going to go right here where that chain 3 is from below, and we're going to make a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to go in this stitch and make a double crochet, sorry. Then above the puff stitch, we're going to make a single crochet. And then above that double crochet from below, we're going to make another double crochet. Again, this is row 1 of your 2-row repeat. Now we're going to chain 1, chain 2. Here we go again. We're in our, think of it as our ladder. We're in our ladder at chain 3 from below. We're going to make a single crochet. And once again, like we did here, is we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and then we're going to jump to our next double crochet sets, or should I say our next set of double crochet, puff stitch, double crochet. We're going to make a double crochet in that first one right above. In the next stitch, which is above your puff stitch, we're going to make a double crochet. And in the next double crochet, we're going to make a double crochet. And here it is. There's what it looks like. So this is great. It's a great stitch. It's easy to learn. You're going to chain 1, you're going to chain 2, and right here you're going to put where your little chain 3 is, where your ladder is. You're going to put, after you chain 2, you're going to put a single crochet. You're going to chain 1, chain 2, and now you're going to go into your last set of double crochet, puff stitch, double crochet. You're going to make a double crochet above that. You're going to make a double crochet above your puff stitch, and you'll find your little opening, and you'll just make that double crochet right above that. And then in the next and last stitch, you're going to make a double crochet at the top of that chain. You'll make a double crochet. Again, this is your 2-row repeat now. You've got all that done. Now you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. You're going to turn your work. Now you're going to know that you're on your second row of your 2-row repeat because you did your double crochets, your 3 double crochets in a row. So now you're going to do your puff stitches. So this double crochet, this chain 2 counts as a double crochet. So now we're going to do our puff stitch in the next double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to go into that stitch, we're going to pull up a loop, we're going to yarn over, go in again, pull up a loop, we're going to yarn over, go in that stitch again, pull up a loop, yarn over, and we're going to pull through all of that. And there's our puff stitch. Now we're going to do a double crochet in this last double crochet of this set from below. And I want to mention that when I'm going to pull that out, when you go into this double crochet here and you pull up and you do your double crochet, when you do those last two loops to go through, it closes up not only your double crochet but your puff stitch. So now here we go again, because we're in the puff stitch location. So we've got to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, because we've got to make the ladder so that when we do our next row, we can make our chain 2, our single crochet, and our chain 2. So we're going to do our ladder, think of it as your ladder, and we're going to jump this and go right into that first double crochet of this grouping, and we're going to make a double crochet above it. In the next double crochet, we're going to make our puff stitch. In the next double crochet from below, we're going to make a double crochet. We're in a second row of our 2-row repeat. I also want to mention that it looks the same back and front. So there's no right or wrong side to this. Back and front, it looks the same, because don't forget, we're turning over our work. So now once we made our double crochet and our puff stitch and our double crochet, we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. Once we do that, we're going to climb over this, we're going to go right over it, and we're going to go to our first double crochet from the next set, and we're going to make a double crochet right there. Once we do that, we're going to make a puff stitch. And we know, because we can look at the row below us and see double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So this is my row 2 of my 2-row repeat. I've got to make a puff stitch there. So that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to go into this stitch here, and I'm going to make a double crochet. And now I know that I've got to chain 3, like I did here. I got to chain 1, 2, 3. And I know that I've got to jump this, and I've got to go in here, and I've got to make my first double crochet of this set. Then I know that in the next one, I've got to make my puff stitch. Now I know that in the next one, I've got to make my double crochet. Now I know I've got to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. I'm going to jump this, and I'm going to go into the first double crochet and make a double crochet, even at the end. In the next one, I make my puff stitch. So we're going to go in there, and we're going to make our puff stitch. And we're going to go right through that, and that's that. In that last stitch, never forget, at the top, tippity top, we're going to make another double crochet. So that was row 1, row 2. And you're going to look at that and say, oh, that looks kind of weird. Yes, it's going to look weird below because you're making a double crochet above a puff stitch. So it looks kind of off, but it's not. That's what gives this pattern such a pretty, pretty look to it. And I'll show it to you here. That's what gives this pattern such a great look. So now we're going to start our 2-row repeat again. So we're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. We know that this chain 2 is a double crochet, so we're not going to put anything here. In the next stitch, which is where your puff stitch is, you're going to put a double crochet and another double crochet in the next stitch. Now you're going to chain 1, chain 2, and now you're going to put a single crochet in that chain 3. You're going to chain 1, chain 2, and then go in the next 3 stitches. One is your double crochet, your puff stitch, and your double crochet. You're going to make a double crochet in each one of those stitches from below. Each one of them. Now we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to make a single crochet again here. We're going to chain 1, chain 2, and then we're going to go into the next 3 stitches, which is a double crochet, a puff stitch, and a double crochet, and we're going to make a double crochet, another double crochet above this puff stitch, and another double crochet where this double crochet is, and we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and then we're going to put a double crochet in this chain 3. It's like we're connecting our ladders. We're going to do chain 1, chain 2, and we're going to do a double crochet in this next stitch. We're going to do a double crochet above that puff stitch. And remember, this is puffs and ladders. In this stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. We're going to chain 1, we're going to chain 2. We're going to do another single crochet right here. We're going to chain 1, chain 2, and then we're going to go into this stitch right here, and we're going to make a double crochet, then a double crochet in the puff stitch above it, and then we're going to make a double crochet in this last stitch at the very top. And that is row 1 of our 2-row repeat. Now we're going to chain 1, chain 2, and now we know that this is row 2 of our 2-row repeat because we did our 3 double crochets right here. This counts as a stitch, it counts as a double crochet, and in this next stitch we're going to do a puff stitch. Then we're going to go in here and do a double crochet. So in the middle of your puff stitch will be a double crochet on one side and a double crochet on the other. Now we're going to chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and we're going to go across and do a double crochet. Then once we do our double crochet, we're going to do our puff stitch. Then in here, we're going to do our double crochet. Now we're going to do chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. And we're going to go across this, and we're going to do a double crochet in that first set of stitches. And then we're going to do our puff stitch in this next double crochet from below. And then in this next double crochet here, we're going to make a double crochet. So our 2 double crochets on each side is hugging our puff stitch. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. We're going to go across this, and in the first set of 3 stitches, we're going to make a double crochet. Then we're going to make our puff stitch. And then we're going to make our double crochet. Chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. We're going to go across this again, and we're going to go into this first double crochet from below and make a double crochet above it. This is row 2 of our 2-row repeat. We're going to go into this next double crochet, and we're making our puff stitch. And in this next stitch, we're making our last double crochet of this row 2 repeat. And this is what it looks like. Now you'll start over to row 1 with your 3 double crochets. Next row, double crochet, puff stitch. So this is the Puffs and Ladders stitch, and I want to show you what it looks like. And you can, if you want, you can change colors every 2. If you want to do 2 rows and then change colors like I did here, I wanted to show you what it looks like with the 2 colors. And I wanted to show you what it looks like plain. And I wanted to show you this as well. It's a really pretty stitch. Like I said, you can make Afghans with it. You can make baby blankets. You can make shawls with this if you wanted to make a cover up with this stitch. You could make bags for market bags with this. You can use cotton. You can use whatever you wanted with this stitch. It's a really, really pretty stitch. And again, it's called the Puffs and Ladder Stitch. And you have to do multiples of 6 plus 3. So it's 6 plus 6 plus 6 until you get to your desired width. And then you add 3 at the end. And this again, I used an H hook, but whatever your yarn requires, that's what you use. And I wanted to just say, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you like this tutorial. If you have a chance, please subscribe and please like the video so the algorithms get out there and other people, other crocheters, new or ones that have been crocheting forever, can find this channel. So that's it, Maria from Crochet A to Z. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day and have a great evening, and see you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.